welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands. We're on our own today.
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us, Paula and Kyle, in the studio, because, we'll talk about why we're on our own a little bit later on, but we normally make a list throughout the week, anything that comes up that's funny or interesting, and think, oh, that would be great for the podcast. We usually write down on a list, and I have two things on my list. Tom is a witch and Paula's birthday.
Yeah.
And that's all we've got.
It's about all that's happened this week.
Actually, it's still cake over there
There
for
is
my
still
birthday.
I've been trying my best to get through it, but I feel like the others aren't put in there.
Yeah, they need to get on and do it. Yes, it was my birthday. Thank you very much for all the birthday presents, all the birthday greetings that you didn't send me, listener. Not one person sent me an email.
Oh, disgusting.
Station manager at FITV.co.uk.
Especially
Happy birthday,
milestone birthday, 25 years old.
Oh dear me, yeah. And why is Tom as a witch? I can't remember now.
Because he's continuing to make the weather awful, and it was snowing cats and dogs a couple of days ago.
Yes, because this is one where you post something going, oh, spring's here, 'cause it's like blue sky, and then the next minute it's chucking it with snow.
I went out to the car one morning and there was about a foot of snow just covered. It was entombed. It was ridiculous.
It was, because it was really windy and there were all these drifts. There's a massive drift outside the office. God,
I don't know how anyone got around. It was like the Antarctic, ploply snowy.
It's funny you should say that, because the wind was coming from the south.
Oh,
which obviously was.
Well, that makes sense.
Antarctic snow, so that's like genuine.
Maybe I should have bottled some and been like, oh, this is my own Antarctic snow.
Yeah, I wonder if we could have. I wonder how pure the water is if we froze it and used it in gin and tonic. But
have your own Antarctic teas.
Well, that's what they do here. People in the know have got contacts. Have South Georgia glacial ice in their gin and tonics. Wow. That's what you do.
God.
You need to know some people.
You need to get onto South Georgia government about that.
Anyway, jam-packed programme this week, 445. It wasn't jam-packed at the beginning of the week. And for the eagle-eyed watchers, you'll probably look at it and go, yeah, that's the one they filmed earlier on in the week. Because that's just like a very vanilla story there, and they filmed that. And then things started to develop to the extent that yesterday morning we were like proper journalists.
We were running out.
Yeah.
On the beat.
Yeah.
Microphones in people's faces.
Well,
not quite that extreme.
No one would talk to us. But yes, there was an incident at the dock yesterday morning. A ship went straight into the dock.
Yeah. Going like 7 knots or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, eyewitnesses report estimated that they were doing 7 knots. He just crashed straight into it. So we were like trying to find out bits and pieces. Luckily, somebody did film it and allowed us to have the footage, so that's on this week's programme. Nice. So it was my birthday yesterday, and I hope people ran for tea and cake, because that's the kind of person I am.
It was a very British birthday.
It was, and you were a little bit late.
I was
because
I was at David Bailey's talk at the Historical Museum, where he was talking about the Battle of Colonel. I want to say Colonel.
Yes, Colonel.
It's on the board.
Yeah, Colonel.
Yes, Colonel.
And the Falklands.
Which was the first major British Navy defeat. I think he said in 100 years or something like that.
It was
the first time that a British ship had been lost with all hands.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
That's at the Coronel.
Yeah, at the Coronel. I think, what was it? I'm going to get it wrong now, but the Monmouth.
Yes.
And the... I forgot the other one.
The Canopus was quite late.
The Canopus was super late getting there because it was a big old ship.
Big old
had
ship.
Big heavy guns.
Yeah.
And
it got there and it was all over.
Yeah.
So it turned around and came back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Glasgow had gotten involved, realised that it was a bit too much to handle, and turned back. But unfortunately, the Monmouth and the it's something Hope. I've remembered that. Good Hope. But the Good Hope were sunk, unfortunately, taking the admiral of that fleet with them.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yes. That was Admiral Craddock.
Admiral Craddock. Yes.
Who did he say about burying his? There's an old
story about him burying his medals and his sword at Government House, and according to Bailey, local historian, that's not true.
Yes.
It's apparently the governor at the time was like, oh, I didn't see him do this, but he did shake my hand and say, if I die, it's Churchill's fault. So that part's true, at least.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and then the British Navy's not one to be humiliated at sea. Then decided to send about five light cruisers and two heavy ones.
Yeah,
after this German fleet.
They sent the big ones down to the Falklands.
What?
They arrived. I think they arrived on the 7th of December or something.
Yeah, and they
refueled straight away, so they were ready to go. And Canopus, who was like stranded in some sandbank or something.
So you know where the Lady Liz is now?
Yeah.
They beached
Lady Elizabeth.
Lady Elizabeth. They had beached it up on Whalebone Cove.
Okay.
And and then they were just kind of, I think they were sorting it out and fixing it and that kind of stuff.
So from what I was told, you may correct me if Bailey told you differently, but from what I was told, they had all these old sea hands who were there and said, right, the Admiral's coming, and the first thing he'll do is ask us to fire around, so let's have something in there ready.
Yep.
And we'll be ready, we'll be on it. And then, of course, there was this little boy who was up on the hill who saw the fleet coming, the German fleet coming, ran down the hill. I don't think he got anything for it. But his mistress got a tea set.
You're thinking of... So there was two different things that happened. So the Invincible and the rest of the British fleet got to the Falklands on the 7th.
Yeah.
On the 8th, they saw that there was smoke in the distance from the German ships. And the admirals were like, oh, great, now we don't have to go searching around the South Atlantic Ocean for them, because they're right here. So the HMS Invincible, Invulnerable, Bristol, all of the ships went charging after them. And then, what was it, at Fitzroy? I want to say it's Fitzroy.
I thought Canopus, when they saw the smoke, set off its charge.
Yes, that is what
happened. The German fleet saw it, presumed it was a massive lot of things. Yeah. And I'm losing all my words. And so legged it.
Yeah, so the German fleet, obviously not expecting there to be this whole British fleet in the Falklands, had been travelling quite close.
Look, this is history with Paula and Kyle.
Look, history corner. The Canopus had a training round in their barrel, and when they found out that they were there, they were like, fire the training round, then put the actual rounds in there, and just start firing. So they were firing at maximum range, which was like, I think Bailey said it was like 16,000 yards or something like that. It's like 9 miles or something. Yeah, and were just firing away. They had massive 12-inch guns and stuff, and started hitting the Germans. The Germans very quickly decided this isn't probably a safe place and started trying to get away. The Invincible and Bristol and all of that charged after them. And as this was going on, the governor got a phone call from Fitzroy, where the farmer's wife was going, "There's German ships in our harbour. Just so you know, you might want to sort them out." And she sent 2 of her handmaids up to the top of the hill so that they could keep an eye on them. And there was this peat boy who was digging peat and stuff, who was running between them, giving updates, and she was still on the phone to the governor saying, "Yeah, there's definitely German ships here." Turns out they were just German supply ships, but still. So one of the ships went round and dealt with them. But yeah, it was sad actually, because the woman that was on the phone ended up getting an OBE.
I thought she got a tea. Who got the tea set then?
The handmaids on the hill got a tea set.
Okay.
And this poor peat boy that was running up and down got nothing. He wasn't recognised at all.
I thought somebody got a watch.
No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
But Bailey was very clear that the peat boy did not receive anything for his efforts.
Poor thing. Anyway, that was Bailey's talk.
It was very good.
And if you're still with us, listener,
yes.
Well done.
Last one for the year, but
we should be doing a whole.
We should do a whole history podcast and all sorts.
Sorry, I'm not taking this in any order, but I did scribble down a few things while you were talking about ships. Hannah's back, isn't she?
Hannah is back. But she's not here.
She's not here
She's
today.
ditched out on the podcast.
She's gone to have her legs waxed.
Yeah.
It's a very journalistic thing to do. I think we're actually the only ones that practice that. It's
very convenient timing as well. 10 o'clock on a
Friday. She just said, "Oh, it's the only time I can get." And I went, "That's fine." We, in all fairness, we do a lot of evenings and we do a lot of weekends here and there, and I can turn around at 4 o'clock and say, "Please, can you go to such and such tonight at 7?"
Yeah.
And they'll go, "Yeah, that's fine." So, give and take, people, give and take. So she did say we could ring her and she would.
Should we try?
Do you want to try ringing her
I'm
and
gonna
see
try.
if she did say she would answer her phone.
Live from the salon. Hannah.
Yes. So while you do that, I will say that I went to the cinema this week and watched.
Oh, I was worried we wouldn't have a cinema corner this week because me and Tom haven't been.
No, I watched The Current War.
Oh yes, of course.
Really good, really good. I probably wouldn't buy it on DVD. It's no imitation game.
Yeah.
But it's very good.
Okay.
It's very good.
Because it's got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, the guy who was in Warm Bodies with the gorgeous blue eyes.
Oh, yeah.
He played Nikola Tesla. It's got the guy who played Spider-Man. Sorry, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I have no idea who they are. So it's the guy from Imitation Game. It's basically Sherlock Holmes, Spider-Man. The guy from Warm Bodies who's the zombie.
Yep.
So the zombie.
Nicholas Hoult, I think his name is.
And another bloke with a very big moustache. So the very big moustache guy was Westinghouse.
Yeah.
The Sherlock was Edison, Thomas Edison. Yeah. Spider-Man was Edison's assistant. Yeah. And the guy from the zombie was Nikola Tesla.
Oh.
It was very good. The cinematography, I loved it. The shots were beautiful. The clothes, the costume. We don't often talk about costumes in Cinema Corner, but the costumes were beautiful, and especially the zombie guy.
Yeah.
His costumes. I don't know whether Nikola Tesla was like that. Sorry, that's the notification that my mother's just got home. Yeah, I don't know whether he was that kind of person.
I think in all the images I've seen of Tesla, he does dress quite fancily and quite well-to-do.
Yes, that's what he was portrayed as. Yeah. But anyway, at the beginning of the film, of course, it was our little FITV.
Oh yes.
Stars of the big screen now.
Oh God.
If there is an emergency.
That infamous line that took
at the front on the left.
10, 12, 20 takes. It's really simple, and I just could not get it.
Yeah, it was very funny when we were doing. We had a very good laugh. We're going to do another one of a similar kind of thing. Ready for thing? Did she answer, by the way?
I'm going to give it a go now. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking about your.
Hold your breath, everybody.
Right, I'll put it on speaker, but that might be dangerous.
There she goes. Is she going to answer?
Oh, it's very tense now.
Hello.
Hello. You're live on the podcast,
Hello.
Hannah.
I'm just on my way to get my wax.
Have you got anything interesting to say to the podcast listeners?
That a Friday morning wax is not going to be very enjoyable. Probably that's what I would say to our podcast listeners.
Top tip listener, don't have your wax on a Friday morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Friday's meant to be the nicest day of the week. This is the last week, and I decided to put my wax on it. So. Not very exciting.
Poor planning.
But I'll be in there probably I get there, I should be there by 10. I'm just on my way now. So
okay,
give us mid-wax.
Give us a call when you're mid-wax.
Yeah.
You're going to have a mid-wax update.
Yeah, we'll have a mid-wax update. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much.
Exciting.
All right.
See ya.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Okay, so that was Hannah.
Yep.
So we'll update her on her wax.
This is proper journalism.
Go here, isn't it?
Live updates.
Go here.
Like Sky News.
We're now back in our normal office. Well, no, we're not.
No, we're not back in our normal offices.
So Hannah and I are here in the studio. We've got back-to-back desks. All you boys are next door, aren't you?
Tom's made it a bit of a man cave. He's got a sofa in there. He's put up the TV. It's like set to.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
He'd swapped out the little TV for the bigger one.
He's got it automatically set to go on either Sky News when you're in them or football when you're not.
I did come in the other day and I thought, oh, this is really good. He's watching like PMQTs. Yeah, how fantastic is that? Oh, here's Bailey coming in. We've just been talking about you.
Hello, we were talking about your talk.
Yeah, on the podcast.
All good things, I hope.
Plugging away.
Shameless plugs, that's what I like. That's what I like to hear. You know, it's the museum's birthday today.
Is it? Come on in. Come and tell our listeners about
Special
the museum's
guest.
birthday. Why is the museum's birthday today?
It's 5 years old, the Historical
it's
Art
cool.
Museum.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Gosh,
off
that's
and
gone
down.
quickly.
Yeah, what a 5 years it's been.
Have you got cakes?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, seriously, are you doing anything special today for it?
I think some of the staff are doing something, but we just no major big event. Obviously had the talk this week. That's obviously a big highlight for the whole of Stanley.
Yes.
We've just informed the listener.
We've been telling the listener all about it.
Right. Short version.
The Monmouth and the Good Hope are the ones that sank.
Yes.
See? You got it right. I was worried I wouldn't.
You've been listening.
We got a bit bogged down with the Invincibles, the Incredibles.
Yeah. The
You know, and all
Pistols.
those.
The Incredibles, like the stretchy man, and the kid who runs really fast. They would have been quite handy.
They would have been nearly handy, actually.
Right, that was a little interlude.
Yeah, just a
bit. Dip the sound there, so I'm sorry, we just had all of a sudden had quite a few people come in.
Just special guests.
Yeah, so where were we? I don't know where we were, but
Where
let's
were
move
we?
on to Christmas
Let's-
because,
Christmas. It's on its way.
It is.
Yeah.
And so I went to see Maurice and Debbie, who run the Seafarers Mission,
Mm-hmm.
last week, and they organise each year a Christmassy thing. It's a Christmas tree festival, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And this year it's going to kick off with the Christmas Challenge concert, which they always do as well. But they tend to do the Christmas tree festival and then the
then the concert.
Sorry, I'm gesturing, listener. But this year they're going to do it the other way around. So on the 6th of, I think it's Friday the 6th of December, they're going to have the Christmas Challenge concert. Mm-hmm. So if you are part of an organisation or group or, just like a group of people down the pub, get in touch with Debbie on 6226 and you can, all she'll do is she'll give you a song and then that's what you have to perform.
Okay. Are they all Christmas carols?
They're all Christmas carols, Christmas songs, It could be anything. So and that's what you do. So you get given. You don't get to choose. You get given it.
Is it like picked out of a hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for many years, the firemen were like top notch at it. But last year, FITV were involved.
Ooh.
Oh yes. So I made a load of penguin puppets. Yeah. And we did a song, and I made a Father Christmas outfit and an elf outfit. But it went down really well, and so we need to think about what we're going to do this year. I was thinking of a ballet.
That's interesting.
Dressed as penguins.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking at the moment, but
Okay.
I've got to just explore it a little bit more. But we will do a Christmassy Nutcracker type ballet.
That could be quite good, actually.
In 3 minutes. So it's down to
that'll
you.
That'll be a quick ballet of the Nutcracker.
So unfortunately Thomas won't be with us because he will have left by then,
Yeah.
but we should have a new person by then, hopefully.
Immediately roped into
Roped to being a penguin, doing ballet. So that's what I'm thinking. And keep it to yourself, listener, because don't want the fire
don't
brigade
want to
to
scare
know.
them off yet.
Don't want the fire brigade to nick our idea. Yes, so anyway, week 445 this week. Like I say, a variety of stories in this week's programme. You will notice, the eagle-eyed viewers, that I'm on my own at the very start of the programme. That's because we had recorded the news when we found out about the
about the five-pass incident.
So I went in back on my own because Thomas had already got changed into his jeans. So I had to do that. And also, here's a little game for you. Watch this week's programme and see if you can count how many different cameras we have used. Because we have used our normal JVC video cameras that we use for production stuff. We've used mobile phones. Yeah. We've used your Canon. What have you got?
Canon 70D.
Canon 70D. We've got a Canon. We've got our 5D.
Yep.
Because Thomas took that out. I think Hannah's used her Nikon at some stage.
I think
as well.
she probably has.
We have got a what would you say? A smorgasbord.
Yes.
Of cameras being used.
We're utilising anything with a lens in it.
Yeah. So see if you can spot them. And I tell you what, if you can spot them and you send us in an email to news@fitv.co.uk and we think you're right, you can get one of our really old mugs that are in the kitchen with the old FITV logo and a previous employee's name on them. Exclusive
prizes. Bit of a history of FITV, bit of a history of the Falklands.
Yeah, and
could be in your living room if you win.
And we'll send it abroad as well. So get onto that. I think that sort of comes to the end, really, of what we've... I don't know how much I'm cutting out in the middle when we were interrupted. But
this might be a 12-minute long podcast.
Well, we just wait, because we'll see if...
we'll give Hannah the chance
Hannah's going to call again.
Phone back, but I don't know if she...
Your phone's flashing, does that mean anything?
Facebook messages.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we haven't got an update on Anna having her legs waxed, and it's now 10:10, so...
So we may have to give up on that.
Yeah. So I know you were, on tenterhooks there, listener, to find out what it was going to be like, but yeah, we'll just leave that.
That's okay.
Coming up next week, so like I say, I don't care because I'm going on. I'm on a flight on Friday.
Paula's already in holiday mode. Yeah. It's already happened.
I'm going to get the cases down on Sunday and I'll start packing.
How do you feel about packing? Are you a packing fan or?
I know Steve's not a fan of my packing. I'm going to pack my ukulele.
Okay. The fabled ukulele that's yet to be heard on the podcast.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's another week gone by and we haven't plugged Apple. Sorry guys.
Samsung, if you want to give us some good phones, don't listen to Apple.
Come and send us some phones, and Canon for that matter. There's a battle in the office between Hannah on Nikon and everyone else on Canon, really. So
give us some Samsung phones and some Canon cameras, and we'll be sorted.
And we'll be happy. Anyway, we'll catch you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.